How is it possible that in a sales team of 5 closers collectively doing $1 million per month, one closer is making $5,000 per month in commissions, while another closer in the same team is doing $20,000 per month in commissions? How is that possible? Well, I've trained multiple sales teams at this level and I know exactly why this happens. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the call framework that I've taught them so that you can implement a proven process that is not only going to allow you to consistently close more deals, but with this framework, you're going to be able to outperform everyone else on your team. In fact, if you master this framework, you will automatically gain an unfair advantage. This is episode 3 of this video series, and if you want to catch up on previous episodes, I will leave a link to the full playlist down in the description box. Let's get into it. First, let's have a look and do a quick reminder of the core goals and the core objectives in the discovery phase. We are optimizing for these core things. Number 1, remember, this is the most important thing. We are building this gap ratio, okay? We're looking to build a gap ratio of at least 4x. So again, you know the price of the product you're selling. So if it's $5,000, okay, if the service is $5,000, you at least need to build a gap that is worth $20,000 so that we can create this no-brainer scenario and they don't get into price-based thinking, cost-based thinking. They get into problem-solution thinking. Number 2, when it comes to discovery, especially when it comes to North Star and current situation, look at it as a first set of data that you're going to collect to spot and to uncover opportunities to start building the gap. The way it looks or the way it works or the way I like to explain it is, imagine that we're looking for gold, and gold meaning the emotions associated with the problems, okay? The emotional gap is the gold. So we're looking for gold. And normally gold is always going to be under the surface and very, very deep, okay? These emotions and these things that they've never shared with anybody, right? So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find what is the rock that contains the most amount of gold, so to say, right? But at the beginning, we don't know. We have no context, right? So what we want to do is we're going to do it by chunks. We're going to do a first setup. So this one will be the North Star. So this is going to be our first section, North Star here. And as we collect that's first set of data, boom, we're going to get some clarity. And guess what? For example, hey, I see 2 opportunities here or 2 doors to start building the gap. And this is the beauty about this process. You see the opportunity, now you just go and start uncovering that. You start probing, unpacking that. Because again, everything we're doing is we're building an emotional gap, right? It's not that you see these 2 opportunities and then you ignore them and you go with your next set of data. And then you might find another doors, and then you just keep asking questions and keep collecting data and, going over the framework. That's not what the framework is for. Does that make sense? North Star is a first setup. It's a first data gathering setup. If we have opportunities, boom, we dive into it. If not, then we go into the second setup. All right, and then we go into the third setup. The way it looks like in here, using this analogy, is you do this, boom, you see 2 opportunities. Let's say you're going to go with this. So you start unpacking that. And let's say, you start getting this clarity and you go, oh, okay, fine. But you see, it's not enough. So now you go back to this one and you start unpack it. It's like, okay, it seems like there might be more here. You unpack it and boom. Now, what do we do? Okay, let's say you're like this. Well, now what do we do? Okay, now, since we don't have anything else to unpack, let's go into the second setup. You do the second setup and boom. You see, that's what we're doing. You might be that's what gives you the efficiency as well, because you might be in your first setup, and from the first setup, literally from North Star here, you might see a clear opportunity to start building the gap. So just you go from North Star straight into pain, straight here. Boom. That's what gives you that efficiency, that flexibility, and that sort of like emotional intelligence to see those opportunities, boom, go there, and allows you to do everything more smoother. Now, a couple of principles here, super important before we dive into the framework. Number 1, don't force the pain, allow versus force. Stay in this mental state of allowing things to come up. Don't force it, because if they feel that you're fishing for something, that you're trying to do something, we feel that. We humans feel that is not, it doesn't help us. It doesn't help them just open up. So, very, very important, allow versus force. Don't force the pain. And the way you stay in allowing things to come up, is just simply by staying true, by just following this concept of, I'm going to do my first setup and I'm going to allow things to pop up. If I see something, I will dig into it. I will clarify that. I will just go down that door of opportunity. If I don't see anything, then I will just go into my next setup, and so on and so forth. Okay. And then as you do repetition and you start to become better and better and better implementing this framework, you will see things in the first setup. You won't even need to go into the second and third setup. As you get good with this, you will always see things right away. And if not, then boom, you have the second and the third setup. The next thing is, the prospect has the answers, not us. So what that means is, have this clarity that you don't need to come up with an answer. You don't need to force them into any specific answers. Like, the answers, number one, are inside of them. And number two is, we just need to provide and facilitate this dialogue and this conversation and allow them to share it by themselves. The third thing is, they have to make the effort, not us. This is very, very important. Of course, our intent is to help. And if they get stuck and they ask us for clarity, well, I never thought about that question. We're going to help them. We're going to say, cool, no worries. If you think about it, if you put a little bit of effort into it, what comes up to you? So we help them. Well, I don't know. Okay. Do you mind if I give you, like, would it be helpful if I give you a couple of examples or a couple of things to consider? Okay. So our intention is to help, but they have to make the effort. They always have to do it by themselves. That's very, very key to really, really tap into self-influence, which is the most powerful way of influence, is someone doing something because they've decided, they've came up with that conclusion, not because we said anything. It's very, very key. Okay. So they have to make the effort. If at any point you feel that you're doing the effort to sort of like build a gap, you need to quickly go, like, I am doing the effort. The person is, it's just sort of like not doing the work. Okay. We need to switch that dynamic. Super, super important. And then the third thing I want to cover before we dive into the North Star, which is our first section, is the concept of time as we're going through the whole discovery. Okay. And this is the priority. This is how you stay clear, and you know what questions to ask, what to uncover, what's not relevant now. Therefore, we're gonna put it aside for a moment. And you'll let the person know, okay, thank you for sharing that. We'll definitely go into what you've tried in the past in a second, but just to stay focused on what's happening now, question. And you ask whatever the question is, okay? So here's the hierarchy of priorities. First, we want to right away, starting from the beginning of the call, first, we want to have full clarity on the present. Okay. We want to have full clarity on, why are you on this call now? What's coming up for you now? What are you doing now to fix the problem? This is very, very important. And you'll see how we stay true to this as we go through the framework. Okay. So, first, I don't care why you want to achieve your goals, how your life is going to be different, like how you're going to feel when you finally achieve this thing. That I don't care about this. I also don't care about how long have you been trying, what are the things that you've tried in the past. I don't care about this either. The first thing I'm super, super focused on at the beginning of the call is present, because the pain is in the present. Okay. The pain is in the present. Very, very important. As you will see in the North Star, we will uncover what is the biggest reason, what is the main reason, what is the biggest issue, the biggest challenge, the main bottleneck right now in the business. So it's present. We're going to start uncovering a problem. We're going to start building a gap because they right now are in pain. So the gap will pop up by focusing on the present. Then the way we expand the gap, is by going into the past. How long has this particular issue has been going on? How many times this thing that just happened to you like yesterday, and I know some of you might be like, but yesterday is the past. Well, okay, let's say that when we talk about present, we talk about today and let's say the last 3 weeks. That's what we mean by the present. Okay. And then anything that is more than a month in the past, we'll consider the past. Okay, just for clarification. So we start diving into the present. For example, let's say we're like asking for a specific scenario and we unpack the pain. Then we go, okay, how many times has this happened in the last 30 days? We're still here. Oh, 2 times. Okay. How about in the last 3 months? Or how about during this year? Let's say we are in June. Okay. Now we go into the past. And the past will allow you to expand the gap and it will build more stakes, will make the conversation more relevant. Yes? Make sense? Once we've uncovered enough pain, then we're going to move, and you will see that here, as you can see, big picture, North Star, current situation, pain. Then after pain, we're going to move into solution, the concept of solution. All right. Here we're talking about the problem, the pain, what's happening now, how painful it is, ramifications, implications, impact, etc., cost, blah 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 blah. We'll dive into these. But once we've had full clarity on the problem, then we're going to move into this second part, which is, or this next conversation is going to be talking all about the solution. Okay, we're going to switch gears and start talking about solutions. And one of the first things we're going to cover here is what have you tried in the past to fix this problem? Okay, so that's where we'll go in the past. The past is the second. Okay, and then the third thing is the future. It's like once you achieve your goals, da, 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 da. This is very, very important. The reason why I'm sharing this, taking the time to share these, guys, is because I see a lot of you starting the conversation mixing these two. You guys are mixing it up and just making the conversation unnecessarily longer. Just have full clarity on the present, okay? Because the pain is here, and then go to the past. That way, you also have a structure, and it's easier for you to stay on track. And also, you provide clarity to them as well. Because if you're clear, they are clear. Okay, cool. Let's get now into the first part of the North Star. We're going to split it into two, and we're going to cover intro and confirmations and call frame, and then we'll cover the rest in the next episode. Okay, cool. So, what is intro and confirmations? As you can see, and I'll walk you through it in a second. As you can see, there's no small talk here. Okay, I'm not a big advocate of small talk. I generally believe that doesn't build anything. I generally believe that the best way that you can show them that you care is by making the conversation as soon as possible, as relevant as possible. And talking about the weather is not relevant for them, right? It's okay at the beginning. Hey, can you hear me? Can you see me? Just making sure that we are prepared, like communication flows. But then immediately the way that I do it that is more relevant for them and displays more that I actually care about you and what you got going on, because I'm not wasting any time with small talk. I just go straight into these two initial questions, straight up. Okay. Hey, I see that you've booked a call on my calendar today because you're looking for help with starting your own e-com business. Is that right? These questions are just generic questions, generic structures. You can always customize it. And this is part of what we do inside of the different mentorship trajectories that we have. Like we help you really, really, customize your questions. So the first question and the second question is sort of like the substitute, quote unquote, for what most people do, which is the small talk. And the good thing about this is that it allows us to see what are their expectations. These two questions, the reason why these two questions are here is just so that we can see and we can get a pulse of them. We can understand what is sort of like the temperature or the state of this prospect and what are their expectations, to see if the expectations are matching or are mismatching. That's the whole purpose, nothing else. We're kicking off the conversation. Hey, I see that you've booked a call on my calendar today because you're looking for external help with starting your own e-com business. Is that right? We're like, I see that you've booked on my calendar today because you're looking for external help when it comes to starting your own e-com business. Is that right? Is that accurate? This first question is assumptive, and it's very, very important because I am asking an assumptive question that is in alignment with what these calls are for. So if their answer is yes, great. If the answer is no, now we just need to take care of that first. Okay. If they say, "Oh well, no, I'm not looking for external help. I purchased this little course you guys have of $20, and I wanted to hop on this call to get some free tips." Boom. So now you see the mismatch of expectations. You have to take care of that first. Very, very key. The second question does the same. The second question is just sort of like a double check. And essentially, we ask, do you know what you're looking for specifically when it comes to getting external help? That could be a variation. Another variation can be, and do you know what you're looking for specifically as far as getting external help when it comes to starting your own income business? Boom. If for whatever reason they get stuck here and they're like, yeah, I don't know, I was just looking, I wanted to see what you guys got going on, or what are you guys offering, right? For example, if that is the case, you just simply tell them something along the lines of, oh yeah, for sure, that's definitely what these calls are for. I guess everybody is different, they learn differently, and they're looking for different things. So just to give you an idea, some people want the blueprint, some people want the workout, the nutrition plan, but they also want the coach to go to the gym, stay there, and just help them with the reps and doing the workouts. Some people want the first, the second, and they want the extra accountability and make sure the coach is calling them in the mornings to make sure they go to the gym, and calling them at night to make sure that they take the vitamins. Does that make sense? So, what do you feel you might be needing at this moment when it comes to external help? And then I just ask again the same question, right? And then they might say, yeah, I would say the coaching, the blueprint for sure, and yeah, accountability for sure, right? Another benefit of doing this is that if they give you a yes, they start to sell themselves already. Because they're saying, yes, I'm looking for external help, and this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm needing. And if they are not in that state, they will reveal that to us. That's the key. So this is what we do. This is the first thing. This is how we kick off the conversation. Now, after this, it's going to depend on the funnel. So if your funnel, the way the leads are generated, if you have some sort of like pre-call assignment, like a preparation guide or a meeting prep, which is really, really good, I highly, highly recommend it. Then you're going to ask for the meeting prep, because again, it's just going to continue to give you more signals of temperature. It's going to continue to give you what is the temperature of this lead. So you would ask something, you might, if you have like a meeting prep assignment or meeting prep guide, you would say, cool. So how do you find the meeting prep assignment? Anything that stood out specifically for you? Any takeaways? Boom. If you don't have a meeting prep, then you can just simply ask, hey, are you ready to dive in? Do you mind if we dive right in? What I like to do is I want to make sure they're good on time. Okay, since we have a limited amount of time booked in, are you good for 45 minutes to an hour? Just confirming. Yes. Okay, cool. Do you have something to take notes? Yes. Ready to dive in? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Boom. That's the first section, intro and confirmations, and boom, we go. Okay, easy peasy. The second part is the call frame. Now, in the topic, the debate, no, right? The eternal debate here in the high ticket space is, do we do a call frame? We don't do a call frame. Doesn't matter. In my specific case, we do a call frame. And there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, it increases compliance. Meaning, if you do a strong call frame and you don't do it in a salesy way, you do it in the right way, they're going to be more open and more willing to answer all of your questions. Why? Because the biggest reason why people give you resistance or they give you pushback when answering questions, sorry, is because they don't know why you're asking. The biggest reason why people give resistance because they don't know what you're asking. They don't know what are your intentions. So the call frame does exactly that. Gives the prospect the intentions. So if you do a great call frame, the likelihood of them giving you the answers and you making a more efficient conversation will increase dramatically. That's number one. But also number two, it sort of like makes the prospect feel safe and gives the prospect the confidence that you got this. It's like, oh, okay, like he got it. Like he knows what he's doing. And I'm going to put you an example. The reason why I love framing the call is as a client, as a user, I love to be given expectations. So, for example, if I'm going to go to a trip and I arrive to the hotel, and when I'm in the reception, sorry, the person says, okay, so you're going to stay for 4 nights. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, great. Here's your room. And here's what you can expect over the next 4 days. The biggest things. Number one, breakfast at this time. This is what happens. This is what it is. This is where you can do this and that. Then every afternoon at 6 p.m., 4 p.m., we always do this, and this. A lot of clients love this because X, Y, C, and ABC. The other alternative will be this, and this. And then we always at night have this restaurant and this. Any questions? Does that make sense? Yeah. I like to receive that. The overall experience increases, is a good experience if I am given expectations. The same way you go to the doctor or to a physiotherapist, you sit down and then they tell you what's about to happen. Let's say we have like an excursion, right? We're gonna go to an island. The guide comes, and when the guide says, okay, so guys, we're seven, we're gonna go in this boat. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go first from here to here. It's gonna take us about an hour. During the way of getting to the island, we're gonna see the dolphins. No worries, we'll let you know once we see the dolphins. There's like a high likelihood that we'll see them today because blah 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 blah. Then once we're in the island, we're gonna do this, and this. We're gonna have a pause here. You see, like they're giving expectations. This is the exact same. Okay. So here's how you do it. Before we get into how you do it, here's how not to do it. You don't do a salesy call frame. And a salesy call frame is those type of call frames where it's like at the end of the call, you have to give me a yes or a no. I don't want maybes, okay? Super salesy. Okay, don't do that. Here's how you do it. There's two parts. After the intro and confirmations, you go, ready to dive in? Yes. Okay, let's do it. Cool. For context, just say that. Just for context, this call is all about understanding in full detail what's currently going on in your business. Let's say it's a business offer. If it's not a business offer, if it's like a fitness or a dating offer or a trading offer, you customize it. Okay, you customize it. What's currently going on in your trading strategy, you customize it. What's currently going on your love life, what's currently going on your health and fitness journey. If it's like a career transition, what's currently going on for you professionally, for example, and then specifically, what are you looking to accomplish? Then, if there is alignment with what we do and how we work with, I'll walk you through the plan and all the details. Sound good? Sounds like a plan. Easy peasy. You can also add a variation here and add the word first if you want as well. For context, this call is all about understanding first and in full detail what's currently going on with your trading right now. And specifically, what are you looking to accomplish with your portfolio? For example, let's do weight loss. For context, this call is all about first understanding in full detail what's currently going on in your weight loss journey. And specifically, what are you looking to accomplish? Right? So you customize it that way. That's the first part. You can do it this way. You can add for extra clarification the word first. This first part of the call or this call is all about understanding first and in full detail. This is very important, full detail, because you're letting them know what's about to happen. We're going to understand in full detail. If for whatever reason they forget about this and they don't understand why you're asking the question, you can always remember them. I need to know exactly and in full detail what's currently going on and specifically what you're looking to accomplish. It is very, very powerful. And the same with the second part, because if there is alignment with what we do here, what we got going on here, but also who we work with. So it's not only if you have the problem, we have the solution. But beyond that, if you are the type of person that we actually work with, if you're not, I'll be honest, I'll let you know, and I'll still point you in the right direction. Okay? This is massive. And it's not only having the words, which I'm giving you the words right here, I'm giving you the structure, but it's also saying it from the right place, meaning your tone and your intentions. So it's words, tone, and intentions. If you have the right intention here, you're detached and you are in the state of, I'm going to be present, I'm going to help this person make the best decision for themselves, then the tone will come up naturally. But the tone is very important as well, the pacing, etc. You don't want to say, for context, this call is all about understanding in full detail what's going on in your business and specifically what you're looking to accomplish. If there's alignment with what we do, we'll walk you through the plan and all the details. Sound good? You don't do it that way because you're really not doing the call frame. You're just sort of like brushing through it. Okay. So again, you want to Do this very present, very intentional, because this is the key that's going to allow you to unlock everything else further. This is massive. Okay. So, for context, this call is all about first understanding in full detail what's currently going on right now in your professional career. And of course, specifically, what are you looking to accomplish? Then, if there is alignment with what we do here and who we work with, I'll walk you through the plan and all the details. Sounds like a plan? Yes. And now, boom, we start. This is all sort of like preliminary conversation. Now we really start our first setup, which is the North Star conversation. And we're going to uncover that and we're going to break that down in the next video.